That is the new 2021 Chrysler Pacifica. It's now available with all-wheel drive, and in this video we're going to see just how well that all-wheel drive system works. In order to torture test the all-wheel drive system on this new minivan, we're going to get various wheels stuck on purpose in these rollers to see how the other wheels will react to get us unstuck. This is the TFL slip test, and it simulates snowy, cold, icy environments, or sand, or mud, or difficult terrain. This first test should be interesting because the new Pacifica all-wheel drive has a disconnectable AWD system. Now, basically, driving around every day in the dry, it'll be a front-wheel drive vehicle until it senses slip, then it'll send power to the rear. But there's a lot more factors now because these cars are so advanced that'll send power to the rear end as well. So stuff like turning on your windshield wiper can engage the all-wheel drive system as well because it thinks you're going through some snow or some rain. But I'm going to leave the vehicle in normal mode. Traction control is still on. Backing onto the rollers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the vehicle in neutral, let it settle into the rollers, and then into drive, I'm just going to release the brake and gently accelerate. So foot off the brake, gently accelerating. All right, so a good result. It didn't take too much spinning before the rear axle engaged and we got unstuck. That was a good job, Chrysler, on the programming there. Here, I'll try it one more time, just as a demonstration. So in reverse, into the rollers here, definitely settled into drive, removing my foot from the brake, gently accelerating, and you can see that with little difficulty we became unstuck. All right, time for the next test. Next up is the diagonal slip test. So the left front and the right rear totally stuck in the rollers. This is a very common situation when you're driving in snowy or icy environments. Imagine this, you're driving down the main road, you pull off, maybe some snow has built up around a curb, that wheel's going to be totally stuck. Perhaps another wheel that's kind of on the more dried out pavement people have been driving on still has traction. Let's see if the other two can get us unstuck. It has been a long time since Chrysler has built an all-wheel drive minivan. I believe the last one was 2004. Let me know in the comment section below if that's correct, but I think it's been about 15 years or so. So, diagonal slip test in the Pacifica, backing onto the rollers. Now, the eagle-eyed viewers among you may notice that when I go in the rollers, certain wheels are higher than other wheels. It's not a perfect lab environment, but in the real world is imperfect. Snow builds up, ice builds up, and certain wheels are going to be at different heights, so I'm okay with that. In neutral, letting the vehicle settle. Let's see what happens. Foot off the brake. Some wheel spin, definitely from the front end. Okay, so took a little bit of spin. I got the traction control flashing. It grabbed down on the wheels that were spinning. It grabbed down on the brake, I should say. Forced power to the wheels with traction, and we pulled ourselves off. Next test is the three-wheeled slip test. So both left wheels totally stuck, the right rear totally stuck, only that right front is going to remain on the ground with traction. Let's see if that'll be enough to pull us off. The test is getting harder now. These three-wheeled slip tests are very challenging for any vehicle, let alone a family hauling minivan. So let's see what happens. I'm in neutral. The vehicle has settled. Foot off the brake. Oh, it's really thinking about it. That's a little disappointing. I thought it would grab that brake much harder than it is. Nice and gentle on the throttle. Traction control is just starting to blink. This is not working very well. That left front is definitely spinning, but we are not getting unstuck. Traction control on. This is typically how we get the best results, with the traction control on. The light is blinking. You're getting good spinning out of the wheels. Now I believe this minivan should be able to get unstuck from the situation because a front wheel on the ground typically yields good results on front wheel bias vehicles. Now we got some traction control movement, finally, but I'm heavy in the throttle. Oh, wow, okay, so we did eventually get off, but that took a lot of work. I had to stay in the throttle for quite a long time before the car kind of figured out where to send power. That was not the result I was expecting. It is a hard test, but I was hoping it would pull us off a little bit sooner than that. All right, we'll try the last one. We did get unstuck on that first 3-wheel slip test, but it took a lot of work. What's gonna happen on the second test? Both fronts totally stuck, only that left rear has traction. Even the right rear is stuck, so 3-wheel slip test, 1 rear tire on the ground. Okay, final test. Left rear wheel is the only one with traction. Let's see what happens into reverse. I'm really rooting for this Pacifica because I love minivans. This Pacifica is just so useful, especially on road trips. And I think in a lot of cases, consumers would be better off in a minivan than a 3-row crossover with the sliding doors. It's just so useful. But I don't know if we'll be able to do this one. So in the drive, traction control is on. Okay, we're settled. Onto the throttle. Ooh, I felt something engage there. We're lurching, that's for sure. Heavy on the throttle now. Let me try turning traction control off. Oh, we almost had it. Come on. All right, traction control on. Let me give it a lot of beans. Okay, so if you really floored it, we did get off, but it took a lot of work. We did make it off that test, but it took a lot of spinning and a lot of thinking of the vehicle and the traction control to figure out which wheel was on the ground. But hey, I mean, we're on the pavement, so that's something new I'd be proud of. So there you have it, the new Chrysler Pacifica all-wheel drive in the TFL slip test. Drop me a comment below and let me know how you think this minivan did on the roller test. And as always, be sure to stay tuned to TFLcar.com for the latest and greatest in honest and independent reviews.